What is up, guys? Zane for the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to turn off your opponent's match coverage. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level in Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players in the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. Currently, I just released my 2-4-5 defensive game plan a couple months ago. It is something that I've been running for the last couple months with the best pass rushing cocktail in the game, bar none. Very, very good coverage concepts to lock down bunch and trips tight end style offenses, and unique gap shoots to shoot the most popular stretch, RPO, and other power runs in the game. Offensively, I've been working on my comprehensive spread playbook game plan as well. Spread playbook is home to 33 shotgun formations. I've been breaking them down on the website in groups, starting off with 2x2 spread, moving on later to my spread ace offense, which has over 3 hours of breakdowns. Hands down my favorite offense on the website right now. And I will be starting to break ground on the doubles content followed up by the trips content in that playbook as well. So head over to gridirongameplans.gg. You guys get everything on the website, everything I just included, for $9.95 a month, and you can opt out at any time. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm going to be talking about how to shut off your opponent's match coverage. Ever since the one step ahead change in the AP a couple weeks back, a lot of players have been going to zone drops, whether it be 3-3-5 wide with your 5-25 Mabel, or going into some match concepts, whether it be cover 3 match or cover 4 quarters and palms. I'm going to show you guys a very, very simple way today to shut off match coverage. Now, the one thing that I would say about this tip is that there is a little bit of a tell to your opponent from a defensive perspective as to what you're trying to do. So if you guys are somebody out there that is running a offense like the one I'm about to show you, make sure you guys are mixing up your concepts out of this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, you guys know that the match coverage, there's a lot of players out there that complain about match coverage, act like it's some sort of crazy defense does everything for you type of coverage. And honestly, I don't know why pro players have that attitude towards match coverage. It's a coverage just like cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 drop. I don't know. I just think that players don't like to open their brains and think sometimes. And anywho, I'm going to show you guys a pretty easy tip to kind of, shut down somebody's match coverage. So we all know, obviously, at this point in the year that match coverage is used pretty frequently to shut down, corners, compression style corners. So if I were to go ahead and run this bunch tight end offense and I wanted to, go ahead and get this smart routed corner open, which is something that so many players like to do, against zone, whether it be cover 2, cover 3, or cover 4, we've all seen this type of corner route where players like to, throw this route out underneath of zone coverage. Obviously, you can tell right here that if I'm in quarters coverage, this actually shuts down that type of flood concept. That's why the match coverage is so popular, and it's why bunch players hate facing match coverage, is that a lot of players will call quarters or palms, and when their opponent goes to this flooding combination that goes to the sideline, you have this outside quarter zone that, rather than dropping to an area, it actually matches and latches on man-to-man to this route. Now, obviously, you can tell that I'm kind of throwing the ball away here. That's why the guy isn't matching. But obviously, he's waiting on this. Now, if I were to go back into the play call menu and I were to try to run this against spot drop zone, obviously, you guys would be able to tell pretty easily that, if my opponent is just sitting in a regular cover 3 or whatever, I can pretty easily get this ball out and throw it down and out here underneath a lot of these zone drops, right? Obviously, a lot of players do like a 5, a 25, whatever they do, they set their zone drops, right? A lot of players honestly will, if it doesn't work for compression, they'll just motion this guy outside, make sure that he can run off the coverage, and that will then open up this corner route out underneath, like that right there. So players are so used to just spamming those corner routes against zone And, you know, if the zone coverage plays correctly, then they just motion a streak to the outside, right? So when it comes to the match coverage, that's why a lot of compression style players get upset, is that they feel like the coverage is just too smart. It does everything for your opponent. So let's go back into that quarters here. And I'm going to show you guys a way that is extremely, extremely easy to turn off match coverage. And this is not a glitch. This is something that you guys can do anytime you are facing, you know, a match style coverage. And it's basically, I call it 4 strong. What it means is that what you're doing is, so we showed you initially with this route combo how the outside player is waiting to match this corner route, right? And he's sitting right there on it. Basically, the way that match coverage plays is it's a numbering system. You know, Ruggs is number 1, Aguilar is number 2, Williams is number 3. Over here on this side, Waller's number 1, and Richard is number 2. What a 4 strong formation is a formation that has 4 receiving options to one side of the quarterback. So if I were to motion this player over and run the exact same route combination, again, Richard is, you know, running to the side, or I'm sorry, he's running a flat. What you're going to see is that those zones, rather than matching, they now spot drop. And that allows you to throw that route underneath, whereas it was covered and smothered by the player on the last down. So, you know, here's the route combination: street corner flat with a swing and an out to the backside. Here it is against quarters. And you notice how if I go to throw this, that guy is waiting there in man-to-man. He almost picks it off. He converts from zone drop into match. But if I run the same route combination and I float a running back to create what is called 4 strong, this will actually turn off the match rules and they will drop to a spot, which allows you to then throw this route underneath and pick up easy gains. So the simple act of floating a running back to create 4 receiving options to one side of the quarterback shuts off match coverage. So let me go ahead and illustrate this from another set. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to run, let's say that you're a spread player and, you know, you want to run maybe a sail combination, right? Why sail? And your opponent is playing match coverage. Actually, this would be a pretty poor example because what you're going to notice is, let me go ahead and go back. I don't want to get too deep into the rules of quarters here, but let's just say for whatever reason you're trying to get a guy open, right? You know, maybe it's a slot receiver on something, and you don't like that he's being matched by something for whatever reason or another. Let's say it's for whatever reason. I'm just trying to think of a route combo. Let's just say here, for the sake of argument, that your opponent is running match coverage and you want to throw this deep in route to Williams, and for whatever reason or another, it's just not getting open. So we snap this ball here, you go to throw it, and you know, you don't like what you're seeing. I know that was a squeeze right there, but for whatever reason, you don't like number 35 hanging out on the back of that in cut. It's just a problem for you. And you know, you don't want him to follow and play match on him. All you have to do is, you know, motion a running back across to create the 4 strong, and now all of a sudden you're going to be forcing your cover 4 quarters to basically play spot drop. So now when you run this route combo, you're going to end up getting a situation where that in cut now is running into a hole in the zone rather than running away from a match player. So this is a way that you could very simply get routes to be open. If a guy is struggling beating the man-to-man portion of match coverage, all you have to do is get a 4th guy over there, and now all of a sudden he's running into a hole in the zone, which, bang, that's an easy throw against that. So every time that you want to go and run your flooding concept or your dig route over the middle, and it's getting matched and you just don't feel comfortable with that throw, you could soften up the cushion by simply floating a guy across. Now, the same logic can be used out of, you know, trip sets and things like that as well. So let's see, let me see if I can find one here. You know, for instance, we've got the bunch quads. I know this isn't a trip set, but like this, for instance, cannot be played match coverage. There's just too many options to one side of the quarterback. So if I go into, you know, palms or quarters, because we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, they can't play match coverage on this. So this is why bunch quads is such a problem, is by default, it's going to play zone drops. You can flood high-low on the sideline, high-low over in the middle. It doesn't matter. There's not going to be any match situation. Most importantly, you're not going to get the solo, you know, I don't believe you're going to get the solo check on the backside. No, actually you do here, which is interesting. You do get that solo check on the backside, but you know, the front side of the formation where the passing strength is, you know, not going to be able to, you know, not be able to deal with it. So let's say, for instance, you know, you got a solo check here on the back side. You know, you could go ahead and do something like this. You know, you're going to get spot drop on one side, and then you're going to get this crosser that's just going to get wide open on the backside, knowing that you can, with this rule of 4, dictate that, you know, here on the front side of the formation, the passing strength of the formation, you've got 4 guys to the passing strength. So everything on the left side of the field is going to be zone drop, which is exactly what you can tell right here. There's no matching going on. And then here on the backside, you know that it's going to play solo check, meaning that instead of this guy playing a drop zone, he actually is going to play man-to-man on this smoke route. Now, all of a sudden, you got no deep zone right here. So now you've got this crossing route from the tight end that is just working into an area of the field that can't be guarded, whereas the rest of the defense is playing zone over there on that side. So you can create some kind of interesting route combinations with this simple rule 4. Now, if I motion Waller back across the formation, now you have to understand that now we're straight up back in the match. So now what we're doing, sorry if you heard my phone in the background there. Now what we're doing here on the backside is we got 2 guys to the right and we've got 3 to the left. Now we're back in quarters, and you're going to see that match is going to be played accordingly. You see that, you know, right here, Aguilar still beat his guy that was playing man-to-man on him, but very clearly that is not cover 4 anymore. This is cover 4 quarters in this example. So you can definitely tell here how now we dictate what the opponent is doing at all times. You know, in this situation, we want them in match coverage. We feel like we have an advantage with Aguilar against the guy that is playing match on him, which is Sorensen, and we exploit that man-to-man matchup. So again, like it's simply put, it's understanding the rules of quarters. You know, there's a lot of people out there that act like quarters is some sort of unstoppable coverage that can't be beaten. If you know how the rules of this work, I mean, you're going to be able to manipulate and pick and choose whoever you want to abuse with this and really go to town on them. Let's say, for instance, we want to do something. Let's say we want to get Aguilar even more open. Let's do something kind of crazy here. You know, you do something like this. Now all of a sudden you're going to have a guy chasing from the opposite side. And actually right there, that played okay. But, you know, you're going to have guys chasing from the opposite side of the field. A lot of times you're going to get some odd behaviors. Let's say that we end up going right here. I mean, I know this is empty real quick. Let me go ahead and show you something else here, and then we'll round the video out. There are formations out there in the game that allow you to float a running back and then motion him out. That's another thing that you can do that can kind of create some interesting little combinations. So let me see if I can go. I don't know if the spread stuff lets you, but let's try it this way. So like we're in a 2x2 spread look here, and let's say that we're facing a quarters coverage, and we know that, you know, if we were to send everybody vertical, it's going to play match coverage. You're going to see the reroutes in the slot and then nothing but match. Everybody matches a guy, right? So now we've got a running back in the backfield and it's 2x2, but also keep in mind that the running back does count towards the numbering system. As I already mentioned, if you float the running back around to a trip side, it counts as 4 strong. So now what we could do is maybe motion a slot receiver across, and now we're also in 4 strong. So what this will do is it will effectively allow you to basically, in this situation, I believe the way that it would work is you would have the safety that is on the right side hanging out near the 40 on the right side of the field. He's going to have to get all the way across and play, and actually right there, that matched accordingly. That played pretty well. He would have to get all the way over and basically take Waller. Like if I were to motion Waller across, he becomes the number 3 receiver on the passing strength side. But because of this now, like you're in a situation where, you know, this match coverage, he can't play the match the way that he wants to. So it reverts into some odd rules, obviously. Let me think here, another one. Let me see if I could go, can we motion Ruggs across? I don't know if he does. He does go across. Okay, so, you know, in this situation, this is also, you know, a 4 strong rule. If you had more flooding combinations, you could actually, you know, try to attack. Let me see if that plays zone drops. It basically, yeah, you're high-lowing, and I threw a pick right there. But as you can tell, like they're not playing match accordingly on the back end. The guys are more or less dropping into deep zones. They're not really trying to play match rules. You see how this guy right here, Sorensen, he's not matching anybody vertically. He kind of drops back into a regular zone. Now, there are some interesting rules. The more you dig into this with your offense, you're going to find some intricate manipulations for this coverage. But the general rule of thumb, guys, is if you're trying to, especially from the compression style formation, get certain routes open and match coverage is giving you problems, float the running back, create a 4-strong approach. Here, I'll show this to you out of regular bunch, then we'll call it a video. So if you guys like this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, certainly feel free to drop those below as well. And again, take one last look here. 4 strong, you're going to get no matching. That's drop zone, and you're able to throw that underneath an outside quarter. So there it is, guys. Hopefully this helps you out with attacking quarters coverage and match coverage as a whole. And I will see you guys tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab, and good luck.